in a successful international career, whether it's in the private or the public sector. Because there are a lot of things that you can be doing if you've decided you want an international career, if you've decided you want to work abroad or to work in an international context. There are a lot of things you can be doing. You can work perhaps as a diplomat for your own government. You can work perhaps if your government has an aid agency of its own or an aid development ministry, you might want to work for that. You might want to work in the military. If your country has an intelligence service or wants to admit that it has an intelligence service, you might want to work for them. You might want to work for a bank. You might want to work for an industrial company. You might want to work for a charity. But you've got to be prepared, I think in your own mind, if you're going to be successful, to identify with your country or with your company or with the organization. And I've said to people in the past, if you're going into an international career because you have very, very strong convictions about some particular thing, some particular issue that you want to address, then you've got to think very hard about whether working for your country as a diplomat or working for the UN is the right thing to do, or working for a particular company. You've got to ask yourself, can I identify with that? Because we all know, I certainly know from my career, that if you're working for your country, sometimes you personally may disagree with what your country is doing. I'm sure we can all think of examples of that. But if you're working for your country, you don't have a choice. You've got to go out there and you've got to be able to argue your country's position, and you've got to be able to deal with people on that basis. Sometimes people have said to me, do you believe that? Do you personally believe what you're saying? And I think, well, that's totally irrelevant. I'm here to work for my country. What I believe personally, what David believes, that's private matter for him and perhaps his family. But but when I'm working for, and it can be Britain in my case, it could be your UN agency, it can be your country, it can be a company. You've got to be prepared to do that. If you have a really strong conviction on a really specific point, you'll find an NGO, a charity, whatever out there that you can 100% identify with. Then that's what you should be doing.